The music's too loud during the opening rhyme. I want to hear that poem, especially if it's mine. On Kite Sharks. And here's the host of Kite Sharks, Jim Perry.
Okay. I thank you. Welcome to Kite Sharks. That's funny. That's very funny. Well, on the off chance, that's from Margie Bankston. And Margie, on the off chance that the music was too loud for your poem, Gene, read Margie's poem again. No music.
I'd be happy to do that, Jim. Here we go. The music's too loud during the opening rhyme. I want to hear that poem, especially if it's mine.
Are you happy now? Margie Bankston from Tunis, Missouri, watching us on KYTV Channel 3. Now let's open the board and get to the cards. And Janice and Lois start loading in the cards. We'll meet our card sharks. We always like to keep people happy out there. Hello there, Dan Stansbury, our champion. You're a man who's definitely happy.
I'm really happy.
Yeah, $10,150 worth you're happy.
Yeah,
Yes,
I feel
indeed.
great.
For any new viewers, Dan, won't you again tell us about yourself?
Well, basically, I come from San Diego, California. I think the most beautiful city in the world, and I publish a homeowners magazine down there. I like to ski, and I'm into surfing, playing racquetball, tennis, every sport that you can think of. And with my money, I think I'm going to buy a gold diving mask and fins for my duck.
For your duck. Of course, your lucky charm back with you again. Dan, you're a good player, and we're meeting the challenger for the first time. This is Lynn Russo. Hi, Lynn. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you,
Welcome
too.
to Card Sharks.
Thank you.
And won't you tell us about you?
My name is Lynn Russo, and I'm from Woodland Hills, California. I just recently moved home after living in Las Vegas for the past year and a half, where I attended the university, and I'm currently waiting to hear from UCLA to be a transfer student.
Oh, that would be nice. What are you trying to transfer to study, Lynn?
Probably communications.
Good. We wish you well. How was living in Las Vegas? How was that as a place to live?
Very, very interesting.
Interesting sounds like a good word for Las Vegas, right?
Yeah, being a student, I didn't get to gamble too much, but I put my money in.
Oh, I see.
Enough of it.
Nice to have you here with us.
Thank
you both
you.
cut the cards?
Yeah.
Yes,
Then
we
we
did.
will start the best two games out of three with a question to the champion. Dan, we asked 100 United States congressmen in Washington, D.C., do you personally read all your own mail? How many congressmen do read all their own mail?
Let's look at it reasonably. Most congressmen get like maybe, I don't know, 5,000 pieces of mail a day. If you look at all the constituents that are involved in each one of their territories, there's a lot of mail involved there. I would say that that's got to be a very high number, and I would say
How
probably...
many do read all their mail?
Oh, excuse me, very low number. I would say that that would be about 10.
10 out of 100 congressmen read all their mail. Lynn?
Okay, I think that number is going to be a little bit higher. Even though they may not read all their mail all the time, I think they would happen to read some of their mail most of the time. I think it's going to be a little bit higher.
So it's how many read all their mail?
All the mail.
You
A
said.
little bit higher, yeah.
Let's find out. The actual number of congressmen who read all their own mail is 43. Very much higher. Lynn?
All
Yeah, I
right.
think, Dan, you might have got thrown there. Remember, not all congressmen represent the big cities with
That's
large
right, there's a-
constituencies. So
Yeah, I
Lynn gets to
remember
start
now.
off the match with a jack.
Oh, good. Lower.
Lower than a jack. A 4.
Higher.
Risking it higher. It is an 8.
Freeze.
And on the middle
Freeze.
card, Lynn freezes. We move over the freeze bar, protecting that position. And Lynn, your first question. Lynn, we asked 100 single women. You're a single woman.
Perfect.
Right? This-
Right.
Good question for you, Lynn. Single women. If you said no to a man's advances and he started to cry, would you give in?
Absolutely not.
Well,
I
how
don't
many
care.
women-
He can cry his heart out.
No, but how many women said if a man started to cry, they would give in?
Oh, I bet about 53 would probably give in because a lot of women would start feeling sorry for him and they would feel bad probably.
You think it works, Lynn? If they
No.
start to cry?
No, it doesn't work.
But 53 would, huh?
Yeah, about 53.
All right, but evidently not Lynn. Dan, what do you think, higher or lower?
Listen, I know I've tried that routine. I've said, please, you know, it really got elaborate. I'd have to say it's lower than that, Jim.
Even lower than that. You've tried it and it doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
The actual number of women who would give in if the man started to cry is 17.
All
Very much
right,
lower.
all right.
You're right. It's low. And Dan, you start with
Ace, lower.
lower than the ace. An
Oh, freeze on the 8. Freeze on the 8.
eight. And now it's Lynn with a one-card advantage.
Yeah.
Question 3 goes to you, Dan. Dan, we surveyed 100 prison inmates. These are all men who are currently serving time in San Quentin prison. And we asked them, could you escape from this prison if you really wanted to? How many inmates claim they could escape from San Quentin if they really wanted to?
Boy, I don't think that the way prisons are built nowadays and the way people are watched and the way they have all the automatic locking bars and everything like that, that really anybody could get out. But I'd say that there's a few guys in there that think they're
We haven't been reading the same newspapers, have we, Dan?
So you're asking me how many say they could get out?
How many inmates claim they could escape from San Quentin if they really wanted to?
I'm going to say 10.
10. 10 said they could escape.
Number is definitely higher. If there's a will, there's a way, and if they got in there, they're going to figure a way to get out. So it's definitely higher.
Okay, Lynn says higher. The actual number of inmates who claim they could escape from San Quentin if they really wanted to is 72. It's definitely higher. She's right.
Change that card.
And now, winning the question, Lynn can change her base card to a 2.
Oh, higher.
Higher than a 2, a 5.
Higher.
If this is higher, Lynn is the first game in the match. No! Couldn't do it, and Dan gets a free chance to call off the 8.
I'm going to go lower than the 8, Jim.
Lower than the 8. No. Couldn't take advantage of it.
Come on, Dick.
Janice fills in the spaces. Dan needs 3 cards. Lynn needs 2. Sudden death. Someone has to win it right here. Lynn, we surveyed 100 women who have had a baby within the past year. And we asked them, have you ever pretended you thought the baby's food was delicious just to get the baby to eat it? How many new mothers have pretended they thought the baby's food was delicious just to get him to eat it?
That's got to be an awfully high number, because with a newborn baby up to 1 year old, you've got to do something to get them to eat their food. They may be hungry, but they need a little bit of encouragement too. So I'm going to say 76.
76 out of 100 have pretended the food was wonderful, Dan.
I'm sure that that's a situation where women would, you know, act like it was tasting better for them, but I don't think the number's going to be that high, Jim. I think it's going to be lower than that.
Say a little lower. We were talking about, oh, the audience says, we were talking about this one. I said, I remember when my kids were younger, we'd go num, num, num. The times have changed. Jonathan Goodson said, he now says yum, 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 right? Forget the dumb, dumb, dumb. 76 for Lynn and lower for Dan. The actual number of new mothers who pretended they thought the baby's food was delicious just to get him to eat it is 56. Dan is right. It is lower. More than half. And now in sudden death, Dan, you have control with an 8. You could, of course, change it. You have 3 cards. Lynn, you're faced with a little problem. You've got control, but Lynn has a great card, a 2, and she needs 2. What are you going to do? Play or pass?
I'm going to play it, Jim.
You're going to play it?
I'm going to play it with a 2. She's got too good of a chance.
I assume you may not want to play that middle card.
No, I don't want the 8. I want a different card,
All right,
please.
this is a big change. Dan, you need them all to win. And getting rid of the middle card, Dan, starts with, in the middle, and you've got to get them all to win.
Let's go higher.
Higher than the 8. No, it's not. Lynn wins game 1 in sudden death. And the luck turns against the champion for game 1. Can he make a comeback? We'll find out right after this. Deals out same 2 decks of cards with the next cards off the top of the deck. And we start game 2, a game that Dan needs, with a question to Dan. Dan, we asked 100 women who are millionaires. Have you ever lied and told a man you were just a working girl to make sure that he liked you for yourself and not your money? How many women millionaires have told a man they were a working girl to make sure that he wasn't after their money?
Jim, there's really a lot of women who specifically don't want men to know what it is they do. But I would think that in the sense of millionaires, they overshadow the man because he doesn't have the money to compete with them. So I'm going to say that...
how many have masqueraded as a simple working girl?
I'm going to say it's a high number. I'm going to say it's 75.
75 out of 100 women millionaires have done that, Lynn.
Okay, I think that the number's got to be a little bit lower. Even though a lot of women might want to masquerade and pretend they're not the millionaires that they are, I still think it's going to be a little lower.
You say it is a little lower.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I don't know. If it were me, if I had $1 million, I'd run through the streets going, hey! Never going to happen. And Dan says 75. Lynn says lower. The actual number of... Who's following me when I was showing the money? The actual number of women millionaires who've told a man they were a working girl to make sure he wasn't after their money is 29. Lynn, you're right. It is lower. I would definitely advertise. Oh, yeah. Lynn, you've got a 7.
Oh, change that card.
7 becomes an ace.
Oh, lower.
Lower than the ace, a 5.
Higher.
She's risking it higher. It is a king.
Lower.
Lower than the king, a 10.
Freeze.
And Lynn needs 1 card to upset our champion.
Oh, yeah.
Lynn, we asked 100 psychiatrists. Generally speaking, do TV soap operas mislead housewives by distorting what true romance is all about? How many psychiatrists said TV soap operas do mislead housewives by distorting what true romance is all about?
Well, I don't think a lot of housewives would actually believe what goes on in the soap operas because somebody's always remarrying somebody's brother or sister and divorcing this and that. And so I think that
Sounds like a good plot, Lynn.
I think that number's going to be...
How many say the psychiatrists say it does mislead the housewives?
Oh, I'd say maybe 44.
44 out of 100.
Yeah.
What do you think, Dan?
I think personally that it's a known fact that people are controlled by television, and I think a lot of women get involved in what they watch in those soap operas. I think a psychiatrist is going to say that's going to be true, so I think it's going to be a little bit higher than that.
Say a little higher than that. Interesting question.
Okay.
The actual number of psychiatrists who said TV soap operas mislead housewives by distorting what true romance is all about is 79.
Yeah,
It is a lot higher.
all right.
Wow. Surprisingly high. And now Dan has some catching up to do. He's got a jack.
Change it. Change that card, please.
Changing the jack to an
Oh!
another jack.
Lower, Jim,
Lower
lower.
than the jack.
All right, higher.
Higher than a 3. A 6.
Higher.
Risking it higher. A jack.
All right, lower.
Trying to go all the way to tie it up. No! On the last card, Dan goes all the way back to the base card. And just as important, Lynn gets a free chance to call for the championship with a 10.
Lower!
We have a new champion if it's lower. No! Another queen. Janice, there's a lot of spaces to fill in. Question 3 to you, Dan. Dan, it is a fact that the U.S. government recently, this is true, listen to this. The U.S. government recently spent thousands of dollars developing a solar-heated outhouse. Fact. So we asked 100 people, do you approve of the government spending your tax dollars to develop an energy-saving outhouse? How many people do approve of the government spending their tax dollars to develop an outhouse?
Recently, I just heard on the radio where the government is offering incentive money for people who are inventing solar energy things. So I agree with that because I'm looking at any way I can save energy. But to do it for an outhouse, I think is a little bit ridiculous. And then...
How many say they do approve of the government spending money for that?
It's got to be a low number. I'm going to say 25.
25 out of 100 do approve.
Okay, I think an outhouse is a pretty ridiculous idea to be spending all that money on. I think the number's going to be even lower.
Do you say lower?
Lower than 25, yeah.
It'll never work. It never worked because it is impossible to get a handle to reach all the way down from the sun to flush. I mean, it's just, no, I don't know why they're spending the money. 25 for Dan, lower for Lynn. The actual number of people who approve of the government spending their tax dollars to develop an energy-saving outhouse is 33. It's not lower, it's higher. Dan. Dan, you're still looking at a jack.
Let's change that card, please.
Can he improve
Give me
it
a
this
good one.
time?
Give me a good one.
No, near the middle with a 7.
I am going to go higher.
Higher than a 7. No, a 4 is not. Again, Lynn has a free chance with a 10.
I'm going to go lower!
Again, she is the champion. If it's lower, this time it is. Lynn wins it. We have a new champion. We have to say goodbye to Dan Stansberry with $10,150.
Thanks a lot, Jim. This is the greatest experience of my life, really.
You're a fine champion. Thank you, Dan.
very much.
Lynn, come on down here. Did you think you could beat such a tough champion?
I never thought I could do it, never.
I hope Lynn can win over $10,000. She could do it in a moment, right after we take time out for this, so don't go away. Congratulations.
Thank you.
New champion, $200. Richard, did you cut those money cards?
I sure did.
All right, good luck. Let's get up there and get to the money cards. Come on. Here we go. And Janice and Lois will start dealing them out, Lynn, as we give you $200 of new money on the bottom line. 3 cards to bet as you will. Move up to the second level. We add another $200 of betting money and 3 more cards. Minimum bets, remember, $50 till you get to the top card, the big bet, where you must risk at least half the money.
Right.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Here's $200.
Okay.
And, of course, you can change your base card at each level if you need to, Lynn. Thank you, Lois. We'll start her off with 200 and an ace.
All of it lower!
The whole thing, $200
Only
that this
lower.
card is lower than an ace.
Lower.
It is.
Oh, 7. $50 higher.
Minimum bet, $50. Higher than a 7. Right again with a 10.
Good. $100 lower.
$100. Lower than a 10. She's right again.
Oh, good.
$550 on the bottom line. We're going to move up to 6 and give you another 200. Lynn, you're up to $750.
Change that card.
See if we can get a good one
Change
for
it.
this level.
Ace.
Ooh, near the middle with a 9.
Okay, I'm gonna bet $150 lower.
We got a feeling. Pretty high, pretty good bet on that 9. I hope she's right. 150, lower. No. Down to 600
Okay.
with a jack.
Now I'm gonna bet $100 lower.
$100
Yeah.
lower than a jack. Yes.
All right.
700.
That's a terrible card. $50 higher.
$50 higher? Yes. That's high enough because with 750 we move up that 7 and you don't have to play it.
I want to change that card.
All right, let's see a good one for the big bet. Lynn will play. Ooh. Up the middle with an 8, Lynn. You must bet at least half.
I'm going to bet half of it lower.
All right, you're going to come out with some money. Come on, let's be there. Half of it that this card is lower.
Lower.
No. No. But you held back $375, $200 in the game. That's $575, Lynn, and that's not too bad. That'll help with the college. Come on down. Kind of a toughie there. That 8 at the top, that's the worst place to get it. The $575, not too bad.
Great.
We'll have a new challenger for Lynn in a moment, right after we take time out for this. Here comes a new challenger on Card Shark. Rose Schwartz. Hello, Rose. Welcome. Happy to have you here. I'm fine.
Happy to be here.
Won't you tell us about yourself?
My name is Rose Schwartz. I live in Glendale, formerly from New York. I've been going with the same fellow for about 50-some-odd years. I met him when I was 15. I've been married almost 42 years now.
Oh, I thought you were dating all that time. The way
Well, we had to wait for 2 of his other brothers to get married because there were 5 in the family. And he was the 5th brother, so the 5th son. So we waited till these other 2 got married, and finally we did it.
Oh, was it worth all the wait?
Absolutely. I love him.
Nice. That's nice. Nice to have you here with us, Rose. You cut the cards?
Yes, I did.
Then here we go. Good luck as we start the best 2 out of 3 with a question to Lynn. And Lynn, we asked 100 bachelors. If your girlfriend told you that you were her 2nd best lover, would knowing that you were only number 2 ruin it for you? How many bachelors said knowing they were only number 2 would ruin it for them?
Well, if your relationship means that much to you, I don't really think that that's going to have a lot to do with it. I think it's going to be a fairly low number. I would say about 41.
41 out of 100 say they would be ruined if they found out they were the 2nd
I would
best
say it was
lover.
higher because men feel very macho, and if they can't be number 1, forget the whole thing.
So you say higher.
Yes.
Back in my single days, I once had a girl say, you are the number 340. Never mind, no. 41 says Lynn, higher says Rose. The actual number of bachelors who said knowing they were number 2 would ruin it for them is 61. Rose, you're right. It is higher.
All right.
Rose starts off the
Good
match.
card, good card.
A 6.
Yeah, change that card. Change it. How
Changing
about an
it to
ace?
a queen.
Lower.
Lower
Let's
than
get
a queen.
lower.
A 5.
Higher.
Higher than a 5. An 8.
Freeze.
And with that middle card, we move
Freeze
over the
on the
freeze
eights.
bar, and Rose needs 2 cards. And let's quickly get to this question to you, Rose. Rose, President Carter recently stated that every day he prays for the leaders of countries that are unfriendly to the United States. So we asked 100 people, do you approve of the president praying for our enemies? How many people approve of the president praying for our enemies?
I think that's going to be rather high. We need all the help we can get, and if we can get it from up above, great, let's do it. And I think they all approve. So I would say that would be about 68.
68 out of 100 people approve of the president praying for our enemies.
I
Lynn?
think that number is going to be a little bit higher because I think everybody wants to pray and wants to feel good, and it's going to be a little bit higher.
So you say higher.
Yeah.
The actual number of people who approve of the president praying for our enemies is 91, almost every one of them. Lynn starts off the game with a 7.
Oh, change that card.
Getting rid of that near middle card. A 2.
Higher.
Change. Higher, she says. It is a jack.
Lower.
Risking it lower. Oh, no.
Oh,
And Rose, it gives you a
Okay.
free chance to play off the 8.
I'll change that, please.
You cannot
I
change
can't-
it. You did not
then
win
I
the
won't
question.
change it, please. I'll go lower.
You
Lower.
say lower. No, it's not lower. Couldn't take advantage of it. Janice will fill in the spaces, and we'll be right back right after this. All right, Sharks, have a good day. Bye-bye.
You sold the villa.
We made a fortune. I've always been involved in real estate.
Well, you can't beat a good bull market if you ask me.
What about you, Kate? How did you make your money? Bingo.
It's Bingo America, starring Patrick Duffy. Print your card at gsn.com. Play along and you can win cash. Play Bingo America. Premieres Monday, March 31st at 7 p.m. only on GSN.